Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our intro to interactive video, specifically with professional learning today. We're really excited to show you how WeVideo interactivity can be used for professional learning. This is our agenda for today. We're going to discuss the benefits of using interactive video, build an interactive video lesson, and then learn how to publish to ensure this lesson can be deployed to your teachers. My name is Taylor Ripley, and I am an education specialist with an instructional design background on the WeVideo Customer Success team, with a passion for helping administrators and teachers discover how they can use this tool and discover their creative spark. I used to work in a school setting, was a member of the Teach for America program, and was a teacher instructional coach, and most recently have obtained my instructional design certification. And I'm super excited to support you and your teachers through WeVideo. So first, we're going to discuss what is interactivity and how it can be utilized in multiple ways for professional learning. So you're going to hear me use the word bulb a lot, and you're probably wondering, what is a bulb? A bulb is what is created when you add your video into WeVideo interactivity. This instructional design studio will take your video and allow you to add engagement in a variety of question types to your video lesson. Bulbs can be deployed as asynchronous self-paced objects. Multiple bulbs and resources can be combined to create a playlist, and you even can create assignments where your learners will submit video content to create their own bulbs. The beauty of a bulb is that it illuminates the learning process. Administrators can receive all of the analytics from the content, and learners can know exactly what they know or don't know in live time, like a light bulb is going off in their head. I am so excited to show you all of the possibilities of using interactivity for professional learning. On the following diagram, you can see a few of the ways interactivity is currently being utilized. Starting your school year, you can use interactivity for instructor onboarding, asynchronously including orientation videos, mandatory trainings, include staff handbooks and resources. You can standardize software training and updates using a playlist. Teachers can utilize this as a training and reference resources all year long. You can support your staff by building community knowledge through instructional strategy videos and playlists. Learner-made bulbs can be assigned to teachers to submit teaching samples for observations. There are many ways interactivity users are currently using this for professional learning. Being that we are all passionate educators here, I believe it's important that we take the time to discuss the foundational benefits of the interactivity experience. Some of these benefits of interactivity include the ability to hold those learners accountable by disabling fast forwarding or skipping. We also take accessibility very seriously, so you're able to include interactive transcripts that are searchable and viewable in 2 ways. And lastly, we have an embedded and exportable notepad that allows for better content digestion. This feature can be monitored by the instructor to be able to gauge their learners' learning process. So you're able to record instructional content with the WeVideo screencast tool or edit your video in the WeVideo video editing platform, or you also will be able to access videos from Vimeo or YouTube. When you enter Instructional Design Studio, you will see 6 different question types. 4 are auto-graded, which is our multiple choice, check all, fill in the blank, and poll. 2 are manually graded, meaning that the instructor can go back in to interactivity and grade the submission, or they can opt to have it worth completion and auto-grade that response. Under the question types, you will see 2 annotations, and we have recently added a third, which is our pause, web embed, and PDF interaction. You can add interactivity to achieve learning outcomes and generate and generate data, which allows you to personalize and differentiate learning for your teachers. So next we're going to look at some use cases. Um, and I want you to know you don't have to completely redesign your professional learning content that you already have. This can be easy and effective. And here are three simple ways in which people use and derive value from interactivity. In this use case, you will see an instructional strategy bulb. The creator of this bulb has outlined the strategy that they will be highlighting and given the directions using the side interaction pause bar. They have embedded a PDF that outlines other best practice instructional strategies that can be downloaded for reference. The video then models the strategy so that the faculty can see how this can be used in action. At the end of the bulb, there is a discussion interaction that allows the professional learners to collaborate asynchronously across districts and departments. The discussion and analytics from the bulb can be monitored and downloaded by the administrator to then gather that data and assess where their teachers are at. This is a great opportunity to have continuous professional development that faculty and teachers can access at their own time. In this use case, you will see a mandatory training. You can use interactivity for many different types of mandatory trainings. This is on cafeteria food safety. You can use pause interactions to frame the objectives of the training. Throughout the bulb, we can see questions that are utilizing multiple attempts and customized feedback. You can use the rich text editor when creating a bulb to add in supplemental documents and articles and feedback to further differentiate learning as well. In the playback options, you can set a minimum completion score for mandatory trainings. So school employees must achieve a mastery score to submit the assignment. And if that mastery score is not achieved, they will be prompted to retake the training. You're able to utilize data collected to monitor the results of the training. As you can see here, you can add in those supplementary resources like a website, an attachment, or even a jump into the video to increase that differentiation and also meet the learners where they're at and make sure that you get that mastery on those trainings that you're assigning out to teachers. And you can create training modules using interactivity playlists, which will allow you to add multiple bulbs and supplemental resources such as text items, PDFs, and website embeds to create a comprehensive training with multiple modalities. This example shows faculty knowledge on differentiation. You can see there's a PDF in the beginning of the training and a website. Teachers can engage with the embedded resources within the interactivity platform. In a PDF, you have the ability to add in annotations, and then the teacher then can download their own notes. You can add in as many bulbs as you'd like in your training. You can utilize a locked progression for playlists and the minimum completion score for bulbs for added in accountability. At the end, you have the ability to add in a customized certificate of completion. Teachers who take this playlist will be able to download that certificate and keep it for their own use or send it where they need it to go as well. Here's an example of what that certificate will look like, and it will customize to the instructor's name, how long that playlist was intended to take, as well as a summary, a signature, and your branding that you can choose as well. Here is a better view of that customized certificate. You can adjust the organizational branding, badge, signature, and 500-character description. The student name, training name, and the date of completion will auto-populate based on the playlist that is taken. All right, now that we've gone through a few use cases to get your mind oriented to how this could be used for professional learning, we're going to dive into how to build a bulb. I'm going to pull up my interactivity account, and I urge you to pull yours up as well and work alongside me. Thinking about what video you would like to use for this workshop task is thinking about an interactive video that you would like to use with your faculty, maybe an upcoming district school or school initiative. So thinking about what would be useful information that you'd like to collect from that training, and also what the outcome will be for your teachers. We're going to go through a variety of different skills within the platform today. And your interactivity tutorial is going to be done in live time. However, when you get access to the slides, you can actually click on each step, and this will give you a short GIF on how to do that portion of the training. So as you're working on this on your own, if you forget how to do something, don't worry, because you can always access this resource. So once you have your interactivity account pulled up, you'll see that we are in the next gen space. We're going to orient to the interactivity space. To do that, you're going to go up to the top left corner. You'll see the next gen button next to the WeVideo logo. You'll select that drop down and select interactivity. Once you're here, you're going to see you have your bulbs library, your classes, playlists, and then a pre-made content library. You're first going to want to select the classes tab. Once you're in your classes, you're going to want to add a new class for professional learning. So we can select the Add New Class button. And save the title for your class. Once we have that class there, we don't need to do anything else in classes right now. You may want to look and see your learners tab. And if you go in and don't see any learners in there yet, that's okay. You will not see a learner in that class until you assign it to them and they have completed a bulb. So don't worry if you create something and you send it out and you're not seeing something. Once they take that bulb, they'll be added into that learners tab under your class. Once you have created that class, you're going to go back to My Bulbs. Then you're going to select the button that says Create New Bulb. This is where you can select the video that you would like to use for practicing today and creating those instructional videos. You'll have access to YouTube, Vimeo, and then any videos that you have created in WeVideo. I'm going to select a YouTube video to practice with today, but feel free to select whatever video you would like. So I can search YouTube by clicking the search bar. You also have the ability to copy and paste a link in as well. So I can copy and paste my link in here. And when I do this, I'll see that my video content is now being brought into that instructional design studio. When I see my video come up, I can then select this customize button. This is going to take me to the captions tab here at the top. This will allow me to view any available YouTube captions or upload my own VTT or SRT caption files. So I can see the available captions. I could select and download those in if I want to. Or if I have my own caption files, I can download them and upload them to this portion here. Once you've decided if you'd like to have captions for your content, you then can move over to this trim and crop functionality. This will give you the ability to trim off the front or the back end of your video. So if I wanted to take off the front, I'd grab this green pin and move it over. And if I want to pull off the back, I can grab that red pin and pull it where I want it to trim. Once I have that all trimmed how I would like it, I can then press my done button here. You'll see that my video segment is brought in here now. And you actually can add more than one video into a singular bulb. So if I wanted to add another video, I could press this add video button and then repeat that same process. Once you've brought your video in, you're then ready to start adding interactions and engagement to the video. There's two different ways that you can add in that engagement. One is you can apply a template. This is going to be an easy, low-lift way to add in interactions and then go back in and edit that for your specific content. But today we're going to go through how to add in individual interactions. So when I click this at the top, I move over to that interactions button. I'll then see I don't have any interactions in here yet. I'm going to use this white dot at the bottom along the scrub bar to decide where I'd like to put my first interaction. So I'm going to start by modeling how to put in a pause interaction. So I have my white dot and I'm going to put it at the very beginning. I'm going to press add an interaction here in that middle teal button at the bottom. Once I come in, I'm going to see the variety of options I have for question types and annotations. So I'll have my multiple choice, check all, fill in the blank, and poll, which are those auto-graded options. We have free response and discussion, which are our manually graded options, or you can opt to have them for completion and auto-graded. And then our three annotation types, which is our pause, our web embed, and our PDF file. So I'm first going to select that pause annotation. This is one of the most underutilized interactions, but has such great value. So for that first interaction type, I like to highlight the objectives, directions, and any background information that my professional learners might need before they start this video. So I can type in to this text bar and utilize the rich text editor that pops up. This rich text editor will be present in any place that you can enter in text. So your questions, answers, any customized feedback you create, you'll have access to this. This will allow you to have jumps, attach files, record audio, insert or edit images, add reactions, equations, a variety of formatting tools, special characters. If you select these three dots, you're able to insert links or source code if you need to. You'll have further formatting tools like headers and alignment. You also can add in a table and adjust table properties from here. What's great about this is if you have a made lesson plan or content that you've already used with your teachers for professional learning, you can actually copy and paste your content in here as well. So I'm going to grab my directions for this lesson and copy and paste them in. And then I can edit it to have it look exactly how I want it. You can add in like specific branding for your institution. You also can link, background information. So I've linked an article to Derek Sievers here by inserting link and putting that website URL. And then you can also put in the directions that your learners may need. Once you've entered in your text for your interaction, each interaction type is going to have its own unique advanced features. So even though we're not going to dive deep into these today, you can always select this advanced button here to make sure that you've toggled on the appropriate settings for your content. Once you have your text in here, you're also able to adjust the placement of every single interaction type. And to do this, you're going to select the Customize button. Every interaction is going to default to the sidebar. So if this is like, if the location of your interaction isn't important or you are like, I don't want to touch that, you don't have to. This is just an additional option for the aesthetic or to further customize your content. So it will always default to the sidebar, but you can move your cursor over the screen and you'll see a preview of where it goes on that video on the right-hand side. You can make it smaller, bigger, however you would like it. And then you can press advanced and further toggle the positioning and the size. You can make it expandable or collapsible and utilize dark mode and opacity if you'd like to. So I'll give everyone a minute to kind of get that situated how they want it. And then once you have that positioning where you'd like it, you're also able to adjust the timing. So you can move from that number 2 at placement to that timing tab. You'll see that the green pin is where you put it to put that interaction originally. You also have the ability to add in a duration if you need to. This particular interaction may not be the best case scenario for a duration, but thinking about maybe like a keywords or if you have a resource linked in your interaction that you want to stay on the screen, you can add in an ending timestamp. So here I could put 10, and then I would see from green to red would be the duration of that interaction on the screen. And then once I have set that how I like it, I can press done. You'll see that that interaction is now added into the interaction section of the designer. And I can then add in additional interactions into that group by adding an interaction before or after. I can duplicate an interaction, save as a template, and go back and edit it if I need to as well. The next interaction that I'd like to show you is a check all interaction. So I'm going to come back down to that white dot and move it over to where I'd like to add the interaction. And press add an interaction by selecting that teal button in the middle. Once I select that, I'll see all of my options come up again, and I'm going to select check all. When this pops up, you can see that this looks different than the pause interaction because it is a question and not an annotation. So you'll have a line for your question and your answer choices. And then if you need to add additional answer options, you can do that here at the bottom. Check all, multiple choice, and poll interactions function very similar. The biggest difference is that a check all interaction is multiple correct answers. A multiple choice is one correct answer, and a poll interaction, there are no right or wrong answers. It is a survey question for you to collect data. So once I have that selected, I will enter in my question. As you can see, that rich text editor is still there. I can enter in my answer options. And once those answer options are put in, I can use the left-hand boxes to signify which answers are the correct answers. After this, I can take my content a step further and add in customized feedback. So when you deploy a question in the interactivity designer, when the teacher receives that question, if they get it correct, it's going to default to green highlighting and saying the word correct if they got that correct answer. If they're incorrect, it's going to highlight red and say incorrect as that feedback. But you have the ability to customize feedback a step further. And I'm going to show you by using my incorrect answer here. So I click the cogwheel and press add feedback. And then I'll see that I have a text line that appears here. This is the text that's going to pop up if the learner is to select this answer choice. What's really great about feedback is that you're able to really customize your learner's experience by adding in jumps, by adding in attachments and websites to further give information on a correct or an incorrect answer. So I'll give everyone a second to try that out, adding in your question, answers, and any feedback. And then once you've entered in that information, you're able to adjust the placement and the timing just like you did with the other interaction we went through. Those advanced features down here are going to be a little bit more in depth. Compared to that pause interaction, you're going to have the ability to customize how many attempts the learner is getting, when the answer highlighting is going to deploy, and a variety of different settings as well in there. So I encourage you to kind of explore those on your own. And then once you're ready, you can press the done button. And you'll see this is brought underneath that pause interaction because it's later on the timestamp. Something that's a little bit different with a graded interaction for a question type is that when you select these three dots, you're able to toggle how many points you'd like it to be worth. So you're able to then adjust that point value, and that is updated to your interaction. And the next interaction that I want to show you is a web embed. So I'm going to pull that scrub bar here on the right-hand side along that video timeline, and where I have it at the timestamp I want, I'll press add interaction here. And I'll select that web embed option. This is where you can copy and paste in your URL that you'd like to embed into that video. There are some nuances within adding in websites here. If you don't see a preview, then you know that this is not given the availability to be embedded. If you do see a preview like I have here, then you'll know that it's okay to be embedded. A tip that I like to give with website embeds and PDFs specifically is that you would like to adjust the placement to overlay that video content. When you embed a website into that video, overlaying the video, you'll be able to use it as a full functioning website. So when you embed it like this and overlay that video, it's easy for your learners to access. And as you can see here, I can scroll through, I can click on it, and it's going to give me the ability to fully utilize that website. All right. And then the last interaction I'm going to show you is going to be pulling from my interactions library. So I'm going to pull that scrub bar to the very end and press add an interaction. And when you scroll past the questions and annotations, you're going to see templates that are pre-created. So you have a variety of those down here, but you also have a category called My Interactions. This is where you'll see a bank of all of the interactions that you have previously created in different bulbs, as well as the bulb that you're creating right now. So you're able to access these interactions that you've previously created and input them into a new bulb. So I want to find a feedback poll so that the teachers that are taking this training are able to give me feedback on their experience, and so I can adjust moving forward. So I can use the filter button up here to look for standard interactions or templates that I've created. I also can filter by specific interaction type. So I can come here and select poll and filter, and I'll see the feedback poll that I've used previously. I can then click this button to preview it here. And with a poll, it's not right or wrong. It's just collecting information. So you can see that each has a check mark because I just want to know how they felt about it. It's not a right or wrong answer. So now that I've checked it, I'm like, that's the content I want in here, and I can press add interaction. Once I've put that in, I can always go back in and edit and adjust if it's, the wording's off or I want to make it a little bit different than the time before. And then I can press done. I can add that point value if I want to for completion. Totally up to you and what you need for your content. And once you've added in all of the interactions that you want to highlight in that video, you're then going to go to the review tab. This is where you can change the title and the thumbnail of your video. You can put tags in for internal organization. So this is so that you can search for certain content when you're creating it or throughout your institution. You can then look and see varieties of videos that are chunked together by that keyword. So you can do keywords, you can do a target audience, and you could use the subject as well. And then once you've added the tags you want in, you'll then come to this playback options. This is one of the most important parts of bulb building because these settings will apply to the entire bulb as a whole. So some of these settings may look different based on professional learning. and learning that happens with students. So when you come in here, some of the ones that I like to highlight is allow learners to skip interactions, allow viewers to fast forward. These are turned off, and I like to make sure they're off because I don't want my learners to be able to skip or fast forward through the content. Maybe with professional learning, sometimes it may be appropriate to turn that on so that they can move at their own pace and get to where they need to be. Allow learners to retake the bulb upon completion. This is a helpful tool to make sure that if it's a mastery-based learning, that teachers are able to go back in and retake. Once you select this option, you can then signify how many retakes you'd like them to have. Important to note that a value of 0 means that the bulb can be retaken indefinitely. Kind of confusing, but it does say it right here. If you opt to have them be able to retake, you can also select this bottom box here. This is our minimum completion score option. So it will say, do not mark the bulb complete unless the learner scores at least, and then you get to decide what you want it to be. So say you want them to have 80% mastery, you can select that. If the teacher was taking the training does not get that 80%, it will prompt them to retake that bulb at the end. Important to note, though, with that minimum completion score is that you cannot have any manually graded interactions for it to function properly. So if you're going to put a free response or a discussion in there, you need to make sure it's auto graded or not worth any points so that it doesn't mess up the calculation of their score. I really like this one, the allow to, excuse me, allow learners to view their printable report. This will allow a printout of the entire training. So it will have all the questions, answers, any feedback, any embedded resources, and it will also have a copy at the bottom of all the time-stamped notes that the teacher or learner took throughout the bulb. You also can hide learner score upon bulb completion. This is great for academic integrity or for just in general if you don't want someone to be able to see all of the answers if they were correct or incorrect in live time. And then finally, you'll have your privacy settings, which you can make your bulb public or only members of your school or site. This is going to give them access to that pre-made bulbs content library. So if you want your bulbs to be able to be used by other people in your institution, you'll want to make sure to click this, and then you can also make it private. And then once you save that, you can preview your content here, or you can press save and exit. Once you have completed building your first bulb, you'll see that that bulb is added into your My Bulbs library. You can then get ready to assign that bulb. So you're going to click the 3 dots under Actions. You'll see the button that says Assign. Once you select Assign, you're going to see how you're going to assign it. And you'll see the title of this, and you'll want to click this drop down and make sure you've selected Assign to Professional Learning. This will require that a teacher account is able to take this bulb. You don't want to have it be to students, or the teacher will not be able to access the link. So you got to do this drop down and press Assign to Professional Learning. If you do not see that as an option, you need to talk to your the person who is in charge with WeVideo at your school and have them talk to their point person at WeVideo to get that upgraded and turned on for you. And you can update a start date and end date. And then down in the classes area, you're going to select the class that you'd like to assign it to. And then in the top right corner, you're going to press Assign. This is going to generate a link for you that you're going to copy. You're going to send that to the group of teachers or faculty that you would like to take that bulb. And once they go in to take it, they will be added into that class, and then you can see their progress on that bulb. Once they have taken the bulb, you're going to want to monitor the data. So the way that you'll do this is you'll press those three dots. You'll come to the monitor option. You'll see all of the different classes that you have and what it has been assigned to. You'll press that monitor button. And you'll see this is a blank monitor page, but I'm going to show you what a full monitor page would look like. So once that monitor page is full, you'll see a variety of analytics are given to you. The first is you're going to see the learner name, their score, and their completion status. The completion status is going to be green for completed. It's also going to show how many minutes it took them to complete that bulb. It's going to be red for not started and yellow for in progress. And it will also say how long they have been in progress for. You can always filter by completion status by selecting the filter button here on the right-hand side. And you can filter by completed, in progress, or not started. For each interaction that you've added into your video lesson, you're going to be able to see a breakdown of each. Auto-graded interactions will populate green for correct and red for incorrect. You can click on the colored box to look deeper into the analytics, including the amount of time the learner was engaged with that interaction. When you see the yellow pen, this signifies a free response that needs to be manually graded. You can click on the gray pen at the top of that interaction to grade all of the free response at once. You can click on the learner name. This will allow you to view that learner's attempt and grade it at once, or you can export the worksheet from their lesson if you don't opt to give them access to it. In the right-hand corner, you'll see a little cloud icon. This will allow you to do a CSV download of the data from that particular bulb. In the left-hand corner, you're going to see the bulb analytics button. This will give you a quick breakdown of each question, like you can see here. It's going to show you the correct and incorrect answers for each question type. It's also going to show you the bulb average score and the bulb completed status in a pie graph here. Alrighty, I know that was a lot of information at once, but wanted to open the floor. If there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Alrighty, thank you all for viewing on here. And we appreciate you taking the time to come learning more about professional learning with WeVideo Interactivity. Feel free to reach out to our team if you have any questions in the future. Thanks so much.